What's going on, everybody? We are just having an insane day for the Bitcoin related stocks. I'm going to talk about a couple of them. We're going to look at Bitcoin and I'm just going to give you my thoughts on the day. If you guys get something useful out of these videos, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. If you're looking for any new crypto exchanges or brokerages, check out the links below for some free rewards. And let's get started on this. First off, I want to mention Bakkt. It just broke out of resistance at 235 and it is just now flashing a golden cross, indicating more upwards momentum. But keep in mind, it is a lagging indicator. We could, in the meantime, have a little pullback, a little retracement before we continue higher. Our next level to watch out for Bakkt is going to be this 270 area. If we can break out there, this can continue to run crazily. With it being up 30-something% today, don't be surprised to see a little bit of a cool down towards the end, a little bit of profit taking. Insane up days like this, you will see that. But overall, I expect Bakkt and all these crypto related stocks are going to continue higher. We're still so early. I also want to talk about Ethereum. We are getting so close to our resistance here. It's been just continuing its slow and steady uptrend. And while people are talking about how Solana or the next crypto is going to just kill ETH, it's the ETH killer, I personally really like Ethereum. Over time, tokens will overall be burnt. There will be less supply over time. New Ethereum issued gets overshadowed by how much Ethereum is actually burned. So overall, we do see a decline in Ethereum, which is fantastic. And I mentioned this before, but Ethereum has been continuing its uptrend since March of 2020. You see this yellow ascending line? We have always stayed above it here. And, you know, it's going to be really interesting to watch it in the coming cycles. Will we ever break down from this yellow ascending line? Will Ethereum just always move up and to the right in general? I do think so. But ETH is definitely one to watch. Keep an eye on a breakout of about 2,400. Now I gotta talk about Cleanspark. She just continues to run. And I honestly do think, you know, if you're looking at the long term, selling now is a serious mistake. One thing you can do if you want to take the risk is sell covered calls. Only if you're thinking about taking some profits. Only if you're thinking about selling here. Why not sell covered calls at a higher price? If it hits, you'd make more money than you would otherwise by just simply selling the shares. And regardless of if it does hit or not, you're still collecting that premium. And some people will look at things like this and say, you know, when Cleanspark is overbought like that, it's time to sell. But look at last time we were overbought like this. We went up to about 1040, we pulled back, found support here, and then we went and broke out to new yearly highs. To me, it's a fatal mistake to sell these Bitcoin miners too early, and it's inevitable, you know, some of us will sell too early. To me, there's still plenty of time to get in. And a great way to take out the anxiety of when do I buy, when do I sell is just simply DCA. To me, Cleanspark is still extremely cheap, and it is going much higher. I think a DCA is the best way to go, and it's also one of the easiest ways to go. You don't have to put any thought into it. You just buy every week, buy every other week, whatever fits your budget, whatever fits your schedule. Now, Cleanspark did show us another gap here. Of course, there's a potential that we fill it, but you know, we just continue to get farther and farther away from our previous gap in the 7s. Of course, the market does like to fill gaps, but not 100% of them fill. And this may be one of those instances. Everyone out there is looking for pullbacks, and any pullbacks I do think will get quickly eaten up. And overall, Cleanspark and a lot of these Bitcoin related stocks will continue pushing higher. And you might be saying, you know, this is just running too far too fast. Well, look at what happens. When we get to these crypto bull markets, we do see insane moves like this. And it can just keep going and going and going and going. And one thing to consider is, you know, Cleanspark is a much better company than they were back in the 2020 halving. They were pulling $3 million in the beginning of the 2020 halving bull market. Now they're pulling in 52 million and they're getting even closer to profitability, which is a massive thing. Another Bitcoin miner going absolutely crazy is Sphere 3D, up about 30% today, and it just broke out of its 335 resistance that I mentioned to you guys yesterday. On the RSI, it is becoming quite overbought. We may see a little bit of a cool down, a little bit of sideways action from here. And like I said, any small pullback is a great chance to buy. Any of these like 4 or 5% down days, sometimes that's all the market's going to give us, and then it goes on to do another 10% up day, 15, 20, 30% up day. Any of those small pullbacks in my eyes are great buying opportunities, and they will continue to be throughout 2024. We've been seeing increased awareness of this one, increased volume, more people are getting into this. It's still an extremely small cap, and it can still move massively. It's still extremely early. The buying pressure is definitely there. And, you know, I don't tend to try to compare things to previous runs. Like, there's a lot of people that'll say, well, its previous all-time high was this, so it's still got a lot of ways to go. And you got to realize, you know, in between now and then, there's a lot of dilution, there's reverse splits. There's always the possibility that some of these riskier small caps don't ever create new all-time highs. But to me, this move we had is just literally a small blip, and there is a lot more to come. And maybe Sphere 3D doesn't reach its all-time high. Keep in mind, this is split adjusted. It never got to $60. To me, Sphere 3D, while it might not hit its all-time high, is still a possibility. Keep in mind, it's still massively down from its highs. This was due to the Fed raising rates. This is a very risky company. Of course, they had a reverse split, which no one wants to see. And Wall Street, for the most part, has just been completely avoiding any risky small caps because of these extremely high interest rates. Well, now we have a Fed talking about lowering interest rates. And of course, we have the Bitcoin bull cycle, which will bring Sphere 3D a lot more money for their Bitcoin mining. And looking at it recently, we're starting to get more bullish. You're seeing these moving averages start to curl upwards. We haven't even seen a golden cross for this one yet. So in my eyes, this run, we're still early. Just keep in mind, it's not always the best to buy these 30% up days, but if you don't want to miss the boat, I think DCA is still a great way to go. Now, I do want to talk about Iris Energy. This one has just been running away. A lot of people want to get in and they just haven't been able to, or they sold too early. I know personally I wanted to add more Iris and then it just started running away from me. And in hindsight, I should have just continued slowly adding. But I do think we'll have an upcoming opportunity for Iris. And considering how some miners are moving today, these 30% up days, while Iris is just up 5%. To me, it indicates that the momentum is cooling down a bit for this one. And while some other miners were consolidating or cooling off a little bit, pulling back, Iris Energy was continuing to just give us these crazy up days. Now it's becoming a bit overbought on the RSI. We could definitely see a little bit of a retracement, a little bit of a cool down. Maybe we come and test our previous resistance as a support, and this down under the 8 area. But just look at that. We're seeing increased volume. We literally just saw a golden cross here, and the bull market uptrend is just beginning. We're still so early. And of course, I gotta talk about Bitcoin. You'd think it's just moving crazy with all these miners going absolutely insane, but no, we're simply looking at about a 1.5% up day. There's clearly a lot of attention on the miners. You clearly have Wall Street looking at what to get into to take advantage of this bull cycle. Bitcoin looks like it's about to fill out this pattern. We may see it break it and come down to 40,000, which is right at our 50 MA. Otherwise, we may break to the upside at about 44,000, taking us towards our long-standing resistance of 48,000. But overall, Bitcoin has been doing absolutely great, continuing its slow and steady move to the upside, and soon we are going to see a break of its yearly high and get closer and closer to that previous all-time high. But it's definitely a very interesting day today, extremely exciting. Let me know what you guys are looking for out there, and in my opinion, don't be scared away from these miners just because we're seeing these insanely high up days. The bullish momentum is definitely there, and while some we could of course see a little retracement, see some things cool down, those are the opportunities to really start buying these miners. Otherwise, a simple DCA is the best way to go. But let me know your strategy out there. What else are you guys watching that's crypto related or not crypto related? Just let me know what you're doing out there. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.